Where Heroes Are Made, a Coca-Cola Campaign in South Africa by Carissa Disla. Situational Analysis. Coca-Cola is a multinational corporation loved by many across the globe. In Africa, they have been the sponsor of Craven Week for 56 years. Coca-Cola's mission statement is to refresh the world, inspire moments of optimism, and create value and make a difference. Coca-Cola's vision looks to the future in 6 different areas of development: people, portfolio, partners, planet, profit, and productivity. Coca-Cola was founded in 1886 in Atlanta, Georgia. In 1930, the Coca-Cola Export Corporation was created to expand Coca-Cola around the world. The company entered Africa in 1938, and by 1959, Coca-Cola was in over 100 countries around the world. Externally, there are many factors in South Africa that have impacted public relations and international companies and their work in the country. The biggest factor was the presence of the apartheid for decades, and although it was deemed illegal in the 1990s, there are still lingering effects in the country. They are the leading economy in the African continent, with more than 75% of the largest African companies. South Africa is a low-context country, meaning they rely on verbal or written messages. In 2014, Coca-Cola set out to increase the reach of Craven Week beyond the current number of 1,886 participating teens and increase Coca-Cola's involvement in youth and sports. Political system. South Africa is currently a democracy with a 3-tier government system including legislative, executive, and judiciary branches. The President of South Africa serves both as the head of state and head of government. South Africa's current political system is heavily influenced by its apartheid past. Since the end of the apartheid in 1994, South Africa's citizens have been protected by a newly written constitution to avoid racial segregation. The younger generation, those born after 1994, who look at race less subjectively in comparison to past generations, are called born free, because that is the year South Africa became a government of constitutional democracy. This population is important to the Where Heroes Are Made campaign. Corruption Perceptions Index. The Corruption Perception Index ranks 180 countries and territories by their perceived levels of public sector corruption, where 0 is highly corrupt and 100 is very clean. South Africa was scored at 43. South African economy. South Africa has a hybrid economy that has both formal and informal sectors. South Africa's middle class continues to become more multiracial, with the incomes of Black increasing faster than the white community. However, many Blacks who are part of the middle class are first generation. Given that, it is clear that the South African community is heavily affected by its segregated past. Currently, it is apparent to note that the different races are affected by poverty. According to the Global Alliance, 13.8% of South African citizens live below the income poverty line of $1.25 per day, a statement more true of Black than white people. South Africa has a large informal sector, especially with street trading. This has led to significant effect on South Africa's unemployment rate, which is currently at 25%. South Africa depends heavily on the tourism sector to boost its economy. Currently, it has shown that South Africa is the home of the world's class sporting facilities capable of accommodating tens of thousands of spectators in comfort. The country has hosted the FIFA World Cup in 2010, Rugby World Cup in 1995, and others. These events prove an important part of South Africa's economy. Media system and literacy rate. South Africa has emphasized the need to continue expanding the role of media education within the country. The government has emphasized the need for equal access to education in order to help empower disadvantaged groups out of poverty. The apartheid has an immense influence on the equal distribution of education, and it has been shown that the education system aimed to keep the Black community at the level of unskilled labor. Since then, the African Qualification Authority oversees the NQF, a set of standards made to promote learning achievements, facilitate access to education, and enhance the quality of education. As of 2013, school enrollment is just above 98%, and the country's literacy rate is almost at 90%. South Africa has placed a priority in bettering the country's technological foothold, especially to aid those in rural areas, and to increase their country's national broadband network. In 2012, only 2% of the population got broadband at home. According to the Global Alliance report, the majority of the country's population has access to mobile devices. However, internet is very expensive compared to the rest of the world. Internet cost is currently $1.53 Mbps as opposed to $1.72 in the rest of the world. This increase in access to technology has been affected on the news and print media industry, something important to note about the Where Heroes Are Made campaign. Demographics. South Africa's current population is highly diverse and is made up of nearly 52 million people. The majority of the population is made up of colored Africans at about 79%, white people make up 9% of the population, and other minorities such as Indians make up the rest of the population. According to the Census 2011 data, the population is about 51% female and 49% male. South Africa is also multilingual. There are 11 official languages, including Zulu, Afrikaans, English, Setswana, just to name a few. Zulu is the most common home language and is spoken by over 20% of the population. Host country culture. Power distance. This tells us the level in which individuals are viewed as equal. South Africa is scored at 49, meaning that people accept a hierarchical system. Individualism. This tells us the degree of interdependence a society has. South Africa is scored at 65, meaning it has an individualist society and preference for a looser social framework. Masculinity and femininity. Masculinity tells us the degree that a society values competition and success. South Africa is scored at 63, meaning it has a masculine society. People often view live in order to work as their lifestyle. Long-term orientation. This tells us how society views its past while dealing with its present and future. South Africa is scored at 34, meaning they greatly respect traditions and view societal change with suspicion. Indulgence. This tells us the extent to which people try to control their desires. South Africa is scored at 63, meaning people value enjoying life and having fun. Uncertainty avoidance. This tells us the extent that a society feels when concerned with unknown situations. South Africa is scored at 49, meaning they have a low preference for avoiding uncertainty. Where Heroes Are Made campaign. An overview. Coca-Cola's Where Heroes Are Made campaign for South Africa's annual Craven Week is a campaign that is still active and successful today. In order to increase awareness of youth athletics, participation, and youth sports development, Coca-Cola launched the Where Heroes Are Made campaign, where a panel of judges selected an award winner daily. These heroes were usually players or team supporters, like a water boy, who did something outstanding that might usually go unnoticed. Aspects of this campaign include the Hero of the Day, which highlights a young athlete who embodies what it means to be a hero. Coca-Cola's goals for this campaign were to encourage a healthy lifestyle for the youth of South Africa, as well as to gain more awareness of Craven Week. Overall, the campaign was a success. The evaluation of the campaign done by Playmakers, the agency responsible for the campaign, revealed that the campaign reached 40,000 teens. Where Heroes Are Made audience. The primary audience was primarily focused on South Africa's youth. Through the use of psychographics and recognizing that teens frequently crave recognition, Coca-Cola was able to propel the vision behind their campaign by dedicating itself to the local youth rugby teams. Secondary audience. Coca-Cola's secondary audience includes South Africa's Youth Week's rugby community. This rugby audience expands to local schools, the community, and the rugby media audience in the region. This campaign awards just one hero, causing a level of competition among local schools and teams in order to qualify as a winner. Objectives. Output. Coca-Cola mainly used print media to reach their audiences. They partnered with news outlets and rugby-centered websites to discuss Coca-Cola Craven Week. Also, they created a Coca-Cola Craven Week Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube account, each disseminating videos and updates on the hero of the day. They also partnered with media outlet Jacaranda FM to highlight the hero of the day. Also, hashtag Where Heroes Are Made was created and got a lot of engagement. Impact objectives. The original goal of increasing outreach by 1,500 was surpassed. Instead, 40,000 South African youth were reached with consistent follower increases on each social media platform. Theme. The campaign theme was increasing youth participation in sports. Its tagline was Where Heroes Are Made. Key messages. To promote youth sports development and leading an active lifestyle. Objectives. To build an image that encourages a healthy lifestyle among youth and name recognition for Coke's sponsorship and support of Craven Week. Strategies. Increase media engagement, reach of ceremonies, and secure a partnership with IOL Sports. Tactics. This campaign create a Hero of the Day award, one that would be given out to a player who exemplified what a hero was. Some qualities these players had to possess included teamwork, spirit, courage, hard work, sacrifice, and sportsmanship. Media was secured to attend